Are we lagging? Some slight lag, maybe.
Welcome to the Jaywalkers. I am Jason,
And I'm Jacob.
and this is a podcast for those who that don't know. It's been a while since we've been with you guys, and
We're back, baby.
We're back, and we locked in, and hopefully we're gonna get a consistent schedule going back in with the holidays and tearing my ACL. Jacob getting some his nose surgery. We'll go into depth a little bit more about that, but yeah, it was hard for us to get locked in and dialed in. So we haven't been to the gym as much. We've been lagging on that. We also haven't been doing the podcast as well. So we're dialed back in, and yeah, so welcome back, and we look forward to feedback on the podcast. We'd love to hear insight.
We got a lot to talk about, huh, bro?
Yes, we got 3 seats today.
We haven't even seen each other in a long time.
Yeah, we haven't even seen each other in a fat minute, and a lot of things have happened in our life. So I'll start off with my ACL injury. So that was probably one of the last times I saw Jacob. We went to go play some basketball at EOS.
We're gonna run the courts, man.
Yeah, and I kind of was like, we were supposed to hit the gym that day. I texted Jacob. I was like, "Hey, bro, you want to go to you want to hoop today?" He's like, "Bro, I didn't bring shoes." I was like, "Bro, I got you. I got shoes and shit." He's like,
Gave me the Kobe's.
Gave him some Kobe's, and then I bought some new shoes. I was like, "I want to break these bad boys in. Let's go." So I was guarding this guy, pushing me off. Boom! I fucking hear a pop, and then I was like, "Damn, I can't get up. I can't get up." And then Jacob was like, "Holy shit! Like, what was your thought process when that shit happened, bro?"
I was like, honestly, I feel like at first I didn't really think too much of it, cause like, it's happened before where like me or you are on the floor, but like, usually we get back up, you bounce back, but like, you stayed on the floor throughout the play, and then like, everybody kind of like went over to you and was like, "Oh, you good?" And then you were like, "I'm gonna stand up, and then you're like, "I can't stand up." And as soon as you said that, we were like, "Oh," like, and you're like, I need help, So then we grabbed you, pulled you over to the side, and you're like, "Yeah, I'm out for the game." And it was just like,
Yep.
It was kind of shocking at first, but then you were like, "I'm gonna try to walk it off," and then a couple,
Yep.
like an hour or so after, because you let me play for a little bit, so then I played, and then you're like, you walked on it for a little bit, and then.
Yeah, I was trying to walk on it, and then I was like, it hurts way too much to walk on it.
We tried the sauna.
And then went to go to the hospital, and then it just was like, yeah, you tore your ACL, bro. So that kind of sucked. And then I was like, it is what it is, So.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's a pretty common injury. That's like a good thing. Like a lot of people go through it and they recover. A lot of people also don't or like neglect.
Don't even get the surgery.
Yeah.
So
I think a lot of people actually neglect it, which in turn might affect their legs later in the future. So
I heard that
you're
and I also heard that your chance of getting, if you get the surgery, that your chance of getting arthritis increases big time because that's what David was telling me. This is Mira's uncle.
Okay.
He was saying that your chance of arthritis increases with when you get the surgery. So either way, my knee's fucked. So that's all good though.
Yeah.
I've been walking it out, and then Jacob got a surgery too. You want to go dive in a little bit about that too?
Yeah, I got a surgery for a deviated septum, and they call it turbates. It's like your sinuses or the air flow for your nose, I guess. So I don't know. I think for a while, like I feel like I had always trouble breathing through one of my nostrils, and I think it just stemmed from like an injury from soccer when I was back in high school, and I just never really thought about it. But I guess like from high school to now, you're constantly growing, and I don't think your nose actually ever stops growing, right? There's something like your nose is always constantly growing. So I feel like just over the last few years, my breathing progressively got worse and worse, and I started to notice it in my sleep, and then waking up with like dry mouth, and I was just like, like something's wrong. So I went and got checked out by the doctor, and they recommended that I go see the ENT, the ear, nose, and throat doctor. Guy looked at me. He basically was like, "Oh, like I recommend that you get this." He's like, insurance pretty much covers the whole thing, and it ended up costing me like a little over $200 to get the surgery.
That's not bad.
So I was like, bro, if this is gonna help me breathe better and like get better sleep and just like have a overall better overall improve my well-being, I was like, might as well. I kind of got like some hate for it at work a little bit. I think people kind of like made fun of me, like, oh, you're getting nose surgery. Kind of like they think I'm
Like a
getting
nose job and
like a
shit.
nose job. But it's not really like that.
Right.
I think my parents kind of thought it was gonna be like that too. But then you realize it's a functional surgery. So really, my nose appearance hasn't really changed. I think it maybe changed like slightly. Like my parents kind of told me it looks like less, like more like less of a swollen bump like at the like this tip. But like for the most part, my nose feels the same, looks the same. I don't know. I don't think it looks different, but I can breathe so much better. Like I can tell. Like
Do you snore still?
I mean I don't
You
I
should
don't.
try to record yourself.
Yeah, maybe I'll record myself, but I mean, I feel like I don't because I
Breathe
definitely
so much better now.
notice I don't wake up with dry mouth. I wake up like feeling refreshed. Like before, I would wake up in the middle of the night, just like kind of get up and like I would need to go drink water and like go to the bathroom and
Right.
like now there's less like waking up in the middle of the night. So I feel like I get more into like what is it called, the deep sleep
REM
cycle?
sleep?
Yeah, the REM sleep. So I think if I want to see how it pays off in the next, I guess, year or so. And then I think it'll actually affect my health in other ways too. Like
You'll be able to sleep through, get for your gains. And
Yeah,
get
gains.
a proper amount of sleep and stuff like that.
yeah, he needs a girl to tell him if he snores.
Or
Yeah.
me, if he spends the night again.
Or yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I guess if you always sleep by yourself, you don't really know. But like, I don't know. I just did it for myself, and it kind of sucked. Honestly, the couple days after, I would say the 5 days after, it was pretty rough until I got the stents removed or stents removed. I think that's called them. Like it's like this plastic stuff that's stuffed deep into your nose, and it hurts really bad.
Right.
And it's to hold your septum in place while it heals, I guess. And once they were pulled out, man, it was like a
Painful.
buttload of relief. It was painful, but as soon as they came out, it's like, man, I could breathe.
Yeah, I remember when I first got COVID tested and when they had to shove something up your nose, bro. Do you remember that?
Super uncomfortable.
Fucking hated that shit, bro. I was like, oh my gosh, this is the worst way to get tested. Fucking hated that shit. So uncomfortable.
Honestly, I would get swabbed at work. Sekisui used to pay us for samples, so I got pretty used to like getting swabbed in my nose. But
do you remember like when COVID first came out, bro?
I know it's the one that goes like way up
super
there.
long, yeah, bro. I hated that one. That one made me tear up every single time, bro.
My work swabbed our throats. That sucked.
Yeah,
I
that
think
sounds
because like
uncomfortable as fuck.
it's like imagine like the very back of your throat just
You
getting
just
like
fucking, like they're like, let me touch your gag reflex.
yeah. I feel like I was like, oh, I was not meant to be a girl. No, I'm just kidding. YouTube, like, I love you guys.
Don't demonetize us, even though we don't make money on here.
No, yeah. So I think the surgery paid off. I feel good. I'm still kind of like recovering. Like my nose is still slightly sore, but for the most part, not really trying to play contact sports, but definitely trying to get back into the gym. And
Right.
I want to go for a run just to see how I breathe long distance now, and see if it's improved or changed for me. And
You know, me and you agreed to Vicky with, bro. We agreed to do a marathon with her, bro.
we did,
Yeah, we were fucked up one day, bro. And we told her we would do a marathon with
bro.
her.
What? I don't remember this.
So you can sign up with her, but I can't.
When was this?
Bro, this was earlier this year, bro.
This year. I feel like I've only seen Vicky
Or
like
late
twice
last
this year.
bro.
Last year?
Yeah, either late last year or earlier this year. I
Okay.
can't remember, but I remember me and you told her we would do a marathon with her.
Swear. Okay. I mean, I've always thought that one day I would try to do a marathon. I ran a 5K already, like through my work before, but that was the longest I ever gone. I never really tried to attempt any longer than, what is it called, 2.5 miles. So
Yeah, one of my coworkers, she does swimming. She goes with a group of people to Del Mar, and then they do they'll do like laps in the ocean they'll
What?
create a triangle. This is how she was explaining to me. There's like a buoy out there, and then there's a couple trainers, and then so they'll create a buoy and have them do timed laps.
okay.
And then I guess people do that so they can train for like a half Ironman, because there's always a half Ironman in Oceanside every year. So
Really?
that's what people do to train for that half Ironman.
Damn, that's crazy. What?
So yeah, that'd be something you could look into if you want to do a marathon or something like that. But I think Ironman's gonna fucking be killer, bro.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean,
Hey,
I
but
don't
that's
know.
like adding something to the checklist. You know, like, hey, I did a fucking Ironman, you know, or at least half an Ironman.
other goals or fitness goals. I don't know. I used to really enjoy running, but now I'm kind of trying to stray away from running because
You want to pick some gains up.
I want to grow, bulk
Well,
up and
I've heard that if you run and you hit the gym, you won't lose gains.
yeah. I mean, it's just not something that I'm like interested in right now.
Right.
Not personally myself.
Right, and timing and stuff like that. The amount of time we have today because you're in school right now and all that stuff is gonna be hard for yourself. Yeah, so I get that.
Especially in the next, probably the next 4 years, just it's gonna be a lot of school. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to do the master's program, and I'm just trying to get through my class right now.
Right.
And I want to get through my class right now, have the summer off from school and just work, and then when we come back into the fall, I'll probably do my master's program. And I'm kind of nervous about it because I feel like the classes are gonna get really intense.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you need the end in mind, right? Like,
Right.
as soon as I complete it, hopefully,
A nice salary raise would be coming along with that.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
So I mean, that's kind of the plan for me. But I don't know. We'll see. And work pays for the master's program too, so that's a cool benefit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they pay up to a certain amount, but I guess depending on where you go. But SDSU gang.
Yep. He's coming back.
I'm coming back, bro. I'm gonna be going to school with Jerry.
Yeah, so my younger brother just got into San Diego State as well too, and I think he's gonna go there for computer science or architect.
science.
That's what he's debating.
You think AI is gonna take over software engineering jobs?
I have no idea. I think there's a possibility. I think that writing code might be easy for if AI knows how to do. I personally don't write code, so. But I was talking to someone who was afraid that AI was going to take their job, so. I think if he's afraid, then I think there's a possibility that AI can do it. So
I mentioned to you this before, but there's an AI program on that you can just look up. It's called Devin, and Devin is literally I said he, but it's
named after a boy. That's
it's named after a boy. But Devin is a AI software engineer, and you go on to hit the platform, the AI platform, and you type into Devin's search bar a software problem or whatever kind of programming question that you have or dilemma that you're facing in your job, and he'll solve the problem for you. I think I think it costs money, honestly. I'm pretty sure it costs money, but it's just kind of where it's leading. And imagine you're the owner of Devin, and now you have multiple. It's like you're a software engineer.
Now you're getting everyone else's codes, basically.
Well, I mean, not that you're getting everybody else's codes, but say you're the developer of this AI software engineer, and a bunch of companies want to use it. It's like you're getting paid
for someone else to do work.
For multiple jobs.
To do work, yeah.
I wouldn't. No. I'm not. Okay. That's not what I meant. I created Devin, right? Say I created Devin, right? Now I own Devin, who is a software engineer, but I also wrote the program. But say 5 companies want to use Devin. It's like I have 5 jobs, right? I'm Devin. I own Devin, and 5 different companies want to use Devin as their software engineer. So it's like you have 5 different jobs.
Yeah. That's crazy.
But I mean, I don't know if they're gonna pay you the same rate, but
probably not. Probably they'll pay like a monthly charge of like $100 a month or something like that. I don't know, depending on what but they're also paying, software engineers a lot of money too.
Right.
The salary for software engineers is pretty high up there, and that's why a lot of people do consider going to school for computer science and stuff like that.
Right. I heard it's getting kind of what is it called? Like the field is getting inflated because of that. So like a lot of young, I guess men and women are moving into the comp sci field, but it's oversaturated is the word. It's oversaturated. So now so many people are in the program, and then so many people are getting out, and there are less software jobs now.
Yeah, and it's probably harder to get jobs because of how many people are are getting comp sci degrees and stuff
Right.
like that. Right.
And how many people are good at it, right? So if you're
Mhm.
Google and say you're hiring one position, it's gonna be so hard to decide between 100 good software engineers,
Mhm.
and then to do like one job, and then all the rest is gonna be taken care of by
and
AI.
and like it'd be hard for Google to go through 1,000 resumes.
Right.
Maybe they probably have enough people that do that though to hiring team to do that. Go through 1,000 resumes and then figure out. They'll probably filter out who knows how to do what and what code have they in before and blah blah blah.
Right,
blah,
right.
So.
Interestingly enough, I think that there's like, if we can slide into kind of the Web 3 topic, is that AI is a big platform in terms of Web 3 and how crypto is developing too.
Mhm.
So like for everybody out there that's interested in crypto, like I've kind of been interested in crypto for the last couple of years. Me and you have always had our deep convos about it.
Right.
But there's a lot of different areas in crypto and coins that are coming out that are in the different Web3 environments.
Mhm.
And one of them is like decentralized coins, kind of like Bitcoin, right? You have something just very generic, decentralized, like currency. Then you have like AI. Then you have blockchain technology. So like use cases for coins. Because Bitcoin, it's more like the replacement currency, I would say, where like, when the U.S. dollar, or not just the U.S. dollar, but other countries, when their currencies destabilize, they're gonna go to a decentralized banking system where it's all reliant on the people that give it value. So, which is kind of like fiat money in a way too. So I think that's why people like push for
having a hard time seeing Bitcoin.
Right, have a hard as like riding the wave
to
to replace everything. But that's why I think blockchain came up, which is like Ethereum, and all the technologies based on it, where they all have use cases for each of the coins. And even then, like I don't know how really AI fits into the coin development, but it's also there are being coins used for AI tech, I think. And then on the other end, there's also gaming coins. So like game developers are gonna start developing coins and tokens to create like cyberspace universe for just gamers.
Well, that's what they do. So I played this game called Rainbow Six, and that's what they're kind of doing there now.
Okay.
Where they have this thing called R6 credits, and then you could buy it for money. And then now they're trying to keep the longevity of the game, and then they're putting a whole marketplace out there for people who've gotten items, and they can sell those items on there. So they're basically creating a currency system within the game itself.
So it's interesting because if that's the case, and so that it's beneficial for a gamer like you to have those things, but you can also use it as an investment tactic where
to sell your account.
Because
you have all the cool shit.
You could just buy coins and maybe the value of it goes up, right? The more and more people play Rainbow Six, right, the more people are gonna be like, oh, like I'll take your coins or whatever,
Right. Yeah. So it's interesting because like there was these guys talking about it. There's this one skin for a gun.
Okay.
That they were selling for, it was like 300,000 R6 credits, which is equivalent to like $500 basically cash. And people are paying for that shit.
Yeah.
Crazy,
They'll want it.
Yeah, because it has value. It's like same thing with CS:GO, that game,
right.
Or other video games where you could buy skin and sell skins. So
Fortnite,
it was a big thing too. So there's if people give value to something, then it's important.
Right.
And I remember when my dad told me this recently. He was like, you should start getting invested into gold itself, because if this, like we saw,
gold has like
always
realistic
value,
uses.
Realistic value to it, and like what we seen recently, we saw the Silicon Bank Valley or Silicon Bank crash. So that was like during our time, and so that's scary. So having something of an asset like that is important too as well too. So and that's why people are also moving to crypto too, because of people don't trust the money being in the bank anymore. People are losing trust in banking systems.
That's true. I mean, if we're gonna talk about losing trust, I mean the whole economy is just been kind of tanking ever since pretty much Biden became president.
Right.
So I could see why people are losing faith in it, but I mean, hopefully we can get the economy back on track in the next, coming years,
Right.
and then lower interest rates for cars, for houses, for the
Well,
housing
yeah,
market.
and it's been competitive ever since COVID, bro. But same thing with
Even the stock market.
Yeah, even it's been competitive to get a car, bro. Used car prices were
Insane.
Costing a lot of money.
Eggs are $12.
Yeah, and it's just living in San Diego itself was one of the hardest things to do. But the rest of America even felt this inflation and stuff. So
Right.
people are sick of it, and it's scary to be a part, but. You got to be smart with your investments too, but a lot of people don't have the opportunity for that because they're not educated and stuff like that. So,
Okay.
And
so what do you recommend for somebody like your brother who's coming into the world right now? Does he, what does he do? Does he get a job early on? Does he sit it in and go to school and study computer science? Does he,
What the advice I would give him now is, go to school. But I think there's so many other ways to make money, and it just
keep
an
open mind to that.
Yeah, just keep open mind, and I think just having the mindset that money's out there to be made, that's I think is the most important. It's like when I see, like, I've noticed myself now, like looking at the world, it's like damn, people make money off just everything, bro. Like everything you can see, if you look at, bro, you can make money off of, bro. Like cutting trees, landscaping companies,
Right.
Starbucks, people making coffee for you, bro. They charge fucking $7 a cup, bro.
Right,
like shit
right.
like that, bro. And it blows my mind, bro. And it's like, how can you like? But there's also a risk associated with that. And I think going to college, me and you've talked about this, is like the safe route, and that's what our parents told us, and and it's been helpful for us and successful for us. But we want to level up, just so much more than that. I think we know that there's way more to life than this, So
Right. I think college is the safe route in terms of actually studying something that matters. I think there's a lot of college degrees that people do, and they do it for the experience or for the vibes and stuff, and it's not
Right.
really for to help. I don't want to say yourself or like the world in a way, but there's a saying that Vivek and who's the guy we like, George Janko. George Janko interviewed Vivek Ramaswamy, and they had a great kind of interview. I thought it was pretty good, where George was kind of talking about how it was about voting, right? And how like, oh, it's important to like vote in the upcoming elections. And then Vivek and him were kind of going back and forth about why the youth were kind of conservative youth were actually leaning towards Vivek because they're liking what he says, but the majority of young people actually don't vote. And I guess that's always been a thing, right?
Yeah, because there's different priorities in their
Right.
life, and like, for example, with our generation, what I notice is
Okay.
like people prioritize fitness right now over everything else, or prioritize a good time, and and I've noticed that a lot of people are more focused on their little world versus what's actually happening in the real
Exactly.
world.
And that's kind of where I was getting to, is that they said this word is they don't have skin in the game, bro. And I love that, because they really don't. If you don't really have a job that is getting taxed a lot, or a job that's necessarily contributing to the society and the community that you live in,
You don't really care.
You don't care because you don't feel the effects, right? You have
And
no
so-
idea. You're just
alright,
blind
quick-
to those scenarios.
Quick question: how much were you taxed this past year?
Oh, bro. So a lot. A lot.
I was taxed about like $20K this last
20K.
year.
I think mine was about. It was a little bit more than that. It was probably like 27.
Ridiculous. And
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, it hurts
a lot.
because it's like when you look at that shit, it's like, dang, it's like you could easily use that money yourself, But
Oh my,
you
yeah.
know, and
I
it's
mean,
like all these promises from the government, like, it sucks that a lot of it's
Yeah.
not coming true, So
well, I kind of liked the idea of, like, the government is there to kind of be more like a regulatory, but they shouldn't have like complete control of like what you do with your money, what you do with your life. Like they kind of been seeping into each individual person's life more and more, as the years go on, and
Right.
that's
Well,
kind of
yeah,
not
like
really what the intention was.
like what California's new bill wants to do is like control how much you drive, and we want to transition into the electric vehicles, which I understand, but at the same time, it's like if we're gonna tax people on how much they drive because they're driving a gasoline car, like that's gonna hurt the people who are struggling to make it right now. Like, why would
right.
Well,
this is more separation, right?
Yeah,
What we were talking about
mm-hmm.
from the. I guess there's no
the
no more middle class.
Yeah, middle class is gonna disappear pretty soon, and all these.
It's
all
already
these laws
gone,
man.
man.
Yeah, and all these laws are coming in to tax and tax and tax, and it's like, how much more can we take?
You showed me that dream. What is it called? The Dreams Mortgage grant.
The Dream House grant or something
grant?
like that. Yeah.
That was the average wage to
afford a house in San
afford a
Diego?
house was $211
grand,
right? 211 grand. That was in San Diego.
Yep.
And it was like 160 in or 180 in
Riverside.
LA or Riverside or.
Yep.
But I mean, these are pretty insane salaries we're
Right.
talking about, and the majority of people don't have that money, right? So,
Right. We don't even have that money.
and even if you do have that money, that means that if you have $211,000 a year, or you're making that,
then
you're
can afford a
barely
house, yeah.
affording a house
Mm-hmm.
in those areas,
Mm-hmm.
and that's like minimum, like what you need to be like decent. That's crazy.
Yeah, to live comfortably.
Yeah,
man.
to live close. That's
yeah.
freaking crazy, man. For an average, I don't know, 4-bedroom, 3-bath, $1 million house in San Diego.
Right. And so Angel said, going to college and getting a relevant degree is key, 100%. But my question to you then, Jacob, to piggyback off of Angel's thing is, how do you determine a relevancy off of a college degree? Because some people's minds, like getting let's use music degree, for example. I'm getting a music degree because I enjoy making music and I want to, get into the music industry. So would that be relevant for that person?
I think it depends maybe how they use it, but I mean,
Or
I could see music being beneficial in some ways, but maybe
or like a theater degree then.
I don't know. I think actors get theater degrees all the time, and then they become famous actors. So
Right.
I think it just depends on the person and like their mindset and what they feel that they need in order to be successful in their field.
Well,
Because
for
me, like there are engineers, right? There are PCB circuit board, like there are circuit board designers that I know, like that are older gentlemen that just did like a certification program, and they're really smart and they're really good at what they do, and they did that certification course, and now they make
as much
as me, if not more. And I'm
Right.
like, wow. And I went and I did 4 years, but obviously I did a little bit different study. But when I did that confidently, it gave me confidence in what I need in order to get a job.
Right.
Whereas like other people, maybe they feel confident enough that a music degree would give them the edge that they need in their industry, or maybe they don't, and they just don't care, and because they have talent elsewhere.
You know what? So I'm gonna redact my statement. I don't think it depends on the relevancy of your degree. I think it just depends on your mindset. If you have a strong enough mindset to be able to get what you want, so like let's say music, right? And like, okay, I want to get in the music game, and you work really fucking hard and do that shit, you're gonna get in there.
Yeah.
So I think
But I don't think that's the case when it comes to like gender studies, Chicano studies, American Indian studies, African American history.
Unless they want to be
studies.
history
Unless they want to
teachers.
be professors.
Yeah, professors or history
But
teachers.
then you get into that circular reasosoning route where it's like, okay, I'm gonna learn this just to tell other people about it, and then they get upset because they don't make any money, right? I'm a Chicano studies professor, and I only make $60K a year, and it's like, if that's like what they studied, and then they become a history professor, and then they make no money.
What can you do with Chicano studies besides?
And then they're
unless
like,
you get into the government, make
Yeah.
a change. But then again, the government's super hard to get into, so you have to.
I feel like the government, honestly, at this day and age, they just rather have people with talents. You know. Whoa, what is it? Angel said also international competition.
That was when we were talking about.
Oh,
AI.
and going to college and getting is the key. Yeah, exactly. I mean, and he makes a good point about competition. Is that like Jerry, right? You're saying he's going comp sci, right? When he gets older, right, and he comes to graduation, now he's competing with all his classmates, and so many like comp sci is oversaturated.
Yep.
So it's like
all
this,
over the world.
all over, and yeah, we're talking worldwide. People are,
and then because it's
you can
most
just hop
of the
on.
time it's remote work.
Everybody has a computer.
Yes.
Everybody can hop on and learn how to code and do all this. So this is where I kind of throw in my 2 cents of what me and you do is hardware. You're always gonna need hardware because it's tangible, right? And at least for the time being.
For what hardware means is that, stuff that's presentable. So like, for example, like that's there, like roads, or pipes. That's what I work with. Or Jacob, what Jacob designs is boards.
Physical electronic things,
boards that go into like your computer and stuff like that.
Right.
So your computer can run. So it's just things like that. It's like there's a market for it, so people will invest into that. And there are parts that are, for different things. So
potentially, I would say potentially in the I don't know how in the future. I think when AI develops enough, I think there will be like a chance that AI robotics can come into play, and there will be AI machines that can potentially do our jobs.
Well, yeah,
but I think that's far.
There's a McDonald's in Texas, I think.
Yeah.
Where it's completely ran by machines. So not even McDonald's employees are say because people were struggling.
Well, we've seen this before on other podcasts where they say service industry jobs will be the first to go for AI.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, because all they would make the burger and then it gets sent out and then you just wait in the drive-thru and it's given to you. So
intuitive or like basic like tasks like serving, communication, like money exchange, all that can be dialed into just ones and zeros, right? Ones and zeros, like I give you something, I get something back. I give you, those things. Relatively simple. It's like problem solving jobs.
Like for engineers in specific, I don't think AI is going to be able to have that. The saying is engineering judgment. So
right.
Because AI is not in the real world, and we look at what's in the real world and like, okay, like this realistically is not going to work. So we got to use something else, So
medicine is too, because there are judgment calls in medicine, right, all the time, right? There's, but honestly, I'm more on the side that medicine might even be first taken over by AI versus engineering, because you can almost eventually maybe develop a machine that analyzes your body and can detect problems and then create like a number of solutions, because like bodies are like repeatable, right? Like biology can be repeatable, right? If someone has cancer, another person has cancer, and they might have the same cancer. You know?
Yeah, but I don't think based off the way the world looks, I think the pharmaceutical world's not going to go anywhere.
No, I that was an extreme example, but let's just say, hey, you got a cut, right? You got a cut on your arm, right? In order to solve it, or like say it needs to be stitched up, right?
Right.
Those things have been stitched up a million times, you know? Whereas, like, engineering, I would say that different problems arise. There are similar problems that come up and can be repeatable and tested, and there's repeatability. But if we're always inventing and always creating new things, there's always more opportunity out there.
Right. Do you think with this whole computer age, do you think it's going to slow down, or do you think it's going to continue to progress at the rate it's progressing? Because what we've seen is that it's been a straight line rock here right now.
Just everything in general?
Everything in general.
Yeah, I would say all this stuff is exponential. Even if you look at the history of
with
like
even steam carts and stuff like that, or steam trains and stuff like that.
When my parents were born, right? My parents said like it was escalating, and then once you hit like the 2000s to like 2010s, it just shot up. Like the rise of cell phones just
the difference between what I had in fucking middle school versus what I have now is dramatically different.
Cell phones probably changed the world. Like the mobile phone,
now people don't have attention span for shit. Like they can't pay attention.
Not even that, but it just like interaction at the store. I mean, it's just everything is done on the cell phone. Everything.
Yep. You can pay now. Pay with your phone.
Travel, bro. Everything. Holds all your tickets. Holds all your information. They're gonna hold. It's probably gonna hold. It probably holds your identification.
Oh yeah, with the Clear app, I was able to go to, because you needed a vaccine to go to Hawaii back in 2020.
Right.
That's when I went with my girl, we went in 2021, and so you needed a vaccine, and that was my ID in a sense
That's
because it
crazy.
was my verification. Because what it did was like, okay, you gotta scan your your COVID card.
I'm surprised they don't do that now for like passports.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm not sure why.
Or passports or like even your ID. Like
So what I had to do was scan my ID, my COVID card, and then scan a picture of my face, and then
it just gave you a QR code. And
bleep. Yeah, got me into the fucking airport, so I could verifying I had the vaccine during that time.
Imagine that, but when you have strep throat is the worst. What was this back to?
Healthcare. We were talking about healthcare. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot. I mean, So let's go back to what we were talking about, like Jerry, for example, like growing up and pushing through. He's got other problems, right? Like, or I don't know if you want to get into like what you were talking about.
Right. So
this is gonna shift.
Yeah,
Probably.
yeah. We're gonna shift the topic a little bit. So, we talked about crypto a little bit. We talked about.
Or you want to keep talking about crypto? We can kind of keep talking about crypto.
No, I think we
or we can loop back.
We could go back, but I think we hit.
Because I have more things to talk about crypto.
We hit a lot of important things about crypto and being invested. Another thing we did want to talk about is, hold on, we typed it up here. Give me 1 second. Where's my mic? Oh, here it is.
Shiba to the moon, bro. Shiba to the moon.
We caught up with you guys. And there's one thing I forgot to mention. I started my new job. I've been there for almost a month and a half now, and I've been loving it. It's such a completely different things of pace, and that's why we also been struggling because my schedule just went in the 360 basically.
Right.
So we're getting that adjusted. And what would you say is like? How often would we try to be doing these streams, Jacob? What would you say?
Once a week.
Once a week. So like every Friday, you think would that work for you?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay, well, so that's our plan. We're planning on doing this every Friday, and then because I know Jacob has school Tuesdays and Thursdays. So
yeah, Tuesday, Thursdays.
Every Friday is gonna be our
Friday,
plan.
maybe Wednesday. I don't know.
Yeah, Wednesday or Fridays.
Wednesday or Friday.
We're gonna do it at least once a week and get back into being locked in and dialed in. And it's been since almost January since we did our last one. So we definitely missed this. And
that was a good stream with the boys versus the girls stream.
Yeah, it was okay. We enjoyed it, and
we need to incorporate new ideas like that. So if you guys have ideas, throw them in the chat. Give us new ideas. Yeah. We'll make it happen.
You guys, the people that support us, we couldn't do it without you guys. So we enjoy doing this, and we'd like feedback, and
we need
we want to get better. So
something I wanted to do is I want to get interviews on individual people. Kind of like we interviewed like Kevin and Fito that one time, but let's do like an individual interview with like another person where we can, talk to them, ask them about their niches or their problems, and then we can give them our perspective. So
right, and I think speaking about perspective, I think we provide solid perspective. I went through a pretty rough thing. I guess I went through a pretty rough phase, a couple years ago of my life where, I wasn't, doing what I wanted to do. And this is kind of adds into the conversation of, having the work ethic because I was an engineer, but I wasn't working as an engineer. That was, affecting me. Then I was, not doing good relationally, and there was a lot of things that I needed to work on.
Okay.
So I had to set some goals and plans and stuff like that and become the man I was supposed to become. And something that I think I needed to do was build myself up. And I think a lot of people don't do that nowadays. I think a lot of people are building for other people, I should say, or and I think that's not what a man is. I think a man should be able to understand what his purpose is and why he thinks the way he thinks and stuff like that.
Okay.
And in terms of dating, I think it's you have to be able to lead. That's how you're able to lead in relationships, And I think a woman will realize that and fall into her feminine energy and be able to follow that, and understand that, like, okay, like at least for my situation, like when it comes to politics and voting or financials, my girl is like, okay, you're in charge. Yeah, she supports me. She's like, okay, I understand your judgment and you have good judgment. You make good judgment.
She trusts you.
Yeah, she trusts me to do that. So, You
It
know,
took. Does it take? It took time to get there, though, right?
yeah,
I
no,
mean,
it takes time, and it's like I think because the dating world is a lot different nowadays than from what my parents is, and you know, me and you were talking about this earlier. My parents, you know, are very idealistic, you know, and would you say the same about your parents, Jacob?
Yeah. I mean, my yeah, my. I feel like definitely my mom has had expectations. I think for both all of my siblings, me
Right.
included, where she was like, okay, my kids are good kids. They have good values.
Mhm.
It should be relatively simple for them to kind of go out in
Yeah,
the
you're
world,
cash.
find their person.
Right.
You know, you guys link. Create family. You create your life together. You create wealth together, and like that's the dream, right? And I think your parents are always confident that it's gonna happen for you.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that there's a lot of like worldly delays now that create this huge separation in interpersonal relationships, or interpersonal dynamics between like men and women,
Right. 'Cause
where there's just
like my
things
parents,
didn't exist before.
yeah, like
you
my
know?
parents, like when I started dating, my parents were expecting they expected the best for me, and I can't blame them for that. But
Like
that's
the
not
like the woman of your dreams is gonna fall into your lap.
You know, that's not just the reality of things. You know, it's
Yeah.
like they wanted me to date a super Christian girl who was already super firm in her beliefs, and you know, should agree. It's
They're out there.
they are out there, but you know, they're so far and few in between. You know,
Right.
And I personally would, you know, what I liked was finding a girl who's multiple. You know, who wants to conform, or you know, wants to. You know,
Wants to believe what you believe.
Wants to believe what I believe. You know,
Yeah.
and it was some work. You know, and it's
But I guess a better way to phrase it is ends up believing in what you believe because
she sees the
she
value.
sees the value in it, or she sees the truth or whatever. You know,
Right.
like because me and you believe like Christianity is the truth. So there's I guess if that's how we hold our life and how we model ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully the woman that you love it would be willing to follow in your steps and you know share that life experience with you.
Right, and you know, then it's like that's I think one of the strongest foundations you can build it on. You know,
Right.
and it's like if you guys can have the same morals and you know same beliefs, and I think Christianity is a great example of what morals to live by and which to believe in, and
Yeah.
it's what are you guys gonna argue about? You know, and how you guys? You know, it's like. You know, raising your kids is going to be that much easier, you know, because you guys are going to be on the same page, you know, and it's going to be so much easier. So that's at least been with my experience.
Right.
But yeah, my parents, you know, like what Jacob sees a lot, and now that he's dating a lot, is that, you know, there's a lot of women out here that aren't Christians, and, you know, a lot of the same stuff, and a lot of
I think
people
they're just people believe in themselves or
yeah,
freely
like what we were
know.
saying, everyone's in their own little world, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like everyone's a celebrity because of social media, and people keep up on each other. It's like keeping up with the Kardashians, but keeping up with everybody, you know. So
Yeah.
it's like everyone
Love is blind, Love Island or whatever.
yeah, you know, and it's like that's what it is for, you know, people nowadays, and it's like keeping up with the Joneses. And
Do you think love is romanticized? Like
I think so. I mean, I romanticize the fuck out of love, you know. And you know
Yeah.
me, bro. So you know, it's like, but I think people have unrealistic expectations out of love.
okay.
I think a lot of people what they see on social media isn't what they get in real life, you know. So it's like
Yeah.
a lot of people only post the happy stuff, not all the you know, not all the trouble they went through and all the bullshit that, you know, came along with that relationship.
Do you think you sacrifice? What does the guy sacrifice in his life for love? Does he just sacrifice his whole life? Like,
I don't
you know, like
that's
what,
a great question.
What in order to give something up, and like
Well, I feel like
about
in terms
your
of sacrifice, what I've sacrificed so far is I did sacrifice a lot of what I used to do. Like I used to, you know, we used to go partying a lot. I don't do that as much anymore.
that's a good sacrifice.
Yeah, I
though.
think it's a good sacrifice, but I mean, it's like less,
Something you give
it's
up.
less boy time, you know. But
Okay.
it made me realize, like, you know, hey, this is what a lot of my friends do, and it's like I'm glad that I get to hang out with you still and do things like this still.
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
other things besides partying that is what I'm trying to
Right,
get
right.
at, you know.
You shift your energy or your time into something else.
Yeah, something that's important to me still. You know, like I like to go fishing. You know, that's another thing that I like to do. But you know, a lot of my homies don't do that. So it's
You could be doing a lot of fishing with that, bro, with that torn
so
ACL.
I can't. And me and Jacob like snowboarding too. So like I get to do
R.I.P.
RIP. I can't do it anymore. So
Hey, maybe in a year, 2 years. Maybe,
but yeah, like a lot of my like stuff did shift in that aspect where I'm not going out and partying. I mean, it was fun. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed it. And getting to do those experiences and. When I hear Jacob stories, I'm like, damn, that's some funny shit, But
no.
I did sacrifice that, and I'm not to say I wouldn't have sacrificed that, but a million times over, I would sacrifice that because I'm working on trying to build my family, and
right.
I think another thing I do sacrifice is a lot of my time does go to her now, and it's not just me time, and that's a lot of it's a tough pill to swallow.
Do you think the girl sacrifices the same thing?
Ooh, that's a great question.
You think like because you were like, oh, I sacrifice like guy time and like partying and stuff.
I think
for
so.
my relationship.
I think
she just does the same thing.
I think she sacrifices her girl time.
You
a lot.
don't think like I don't know. I always thought that the guy ends up sacrificing a lot more in a sense that you're
financially. I think a guy sacrifices a lot more.
Yeah, maybe
but
that's what I was
think
getting at.
When it comes to a girl, I feel like she sacrifices more of her time for like kids and stuff like that. So, but I think that's what makes women beautiful, and I think women truly want to do that anyway. So, is it really a sacrifice of time? Probably not, because I think women inherently want to be mothers. Most of the time,
and then we inherently want to be providers. So.
Yeah, and so it kind of works out. And I think my girl understands it, and with something that we're both willing to sacrifice. I did, and
I think bro. Even that this relationship thing that you were talking about, finances for guys. I think this even goes back to what we were talking about earlier. People having skin in the game for like your community, your environment, the society that you live in. Right. Why we end up? Oh, we gotta. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming.
Oh, it's good now.
Are we back? YouTube. The live is cutting out. I think we're back. Barely. We're talking about finances for.
Okay, yeah, we're back.
I think we're back.
Yep.
I was talking about like skin in the game versus getting involved or getting a job where you see like the impacts. Mm-hmm. So you see the impact in your relationships, you see it in life. I think it's also like a step towards like maturity for that relationship because so we still have poor stream status. Sorry. I just want to make sure we're good. I think we're good. Maybe we're good.
Yeah, I don't know how to adjust it, to be honest with you.
I think we're good. Bitrate is all right. Let me check. Let me check on real quick. Sorry guys. Timeout.
Yeah, we're having some technical difficulties. We've been having technical difficulties all day.
Let's just see we're good. No, we're in.
Okay.
We're good.
We're good.
Yeah. So, was it going back to that? So, where were we?
Skin in the game up in relationships and stuff.
Oh yeah, I was just thinking because, I have, like some of my friends they'll like come to me for like advice and a lot of it is like I have one friend that kind of has come to me recently, my homie, and he's like, man, like he does really good job like talking to girls and he has the in and he does well, but then he's still like going to school, he's still working at a service job, and I'm like, bro, you're doing everything right. Just like make sure you finish out school, make sure you get that like a decent paying job, make sure you get a job that contributes to society, increases value in yourself, provides value towards society, which makes you useful, which makes you a skilled worker, because skilled employees are what's going to be useful. I mean, you don't want to have a job that's taken over by AI. You want to have a tradable job, something that you can barter and market and be like, hey, I have this, you want it. it's the same thing in a relationship. I have this, she wants it, like it's gonna make you valuable. So, and right now, I think that's my homie. He sees that and he's trying to get there, but he's, when you're young, you're kind of caught up in the moment. You're caught up like trying to talk to girls, and you're trying to get in, but then you realize that you're not really fully. The commitment's not there because the girl doesn't quite know that you're able to do those things yet. So there's always like slight hesitation, or like the talking stage doesn't like last very long. It goes through like, oh, you're talking, maybe you end up like hooking up with her or something, but it actually never leads to that long-term commitment where you both are willing to sacrifice and give up for the betterment of the relationship.
And that's the thing. A lot of people don't want to sacrifice their current lifestyles. That's why a lot of people don't get married, in this day and age. It's because it is a big sacrifice,
Right.
And I think a lot of people, I think love is not as romanticized as much as it was back in the 80s and 90s, bro. To be quite honest with you,
okay.
I think it's people.
You think people care less about love now and care more about utility?
Yeah. What can I use this person for? You know, or what can this person provide during this time of my life? Because people's mindset, and it's like I seen this podcast where he was like, this current generation, we date and leave. It's like, that's all we do is just date and leave, date and leave, date and leave. It's like, how are you going to hold a steady relationship if that's all you know is you get into this routine of day and leave, day and leave, day and leave, day and leave. So, and I think that's, to a degree, it's right. It's like, if that's all you know, then how can you build an everlasting relationship too, So, I don't know. It just, everyone's situation is different and unique, but I think setting it on a firm foundation and, setting it in the right way. And I think a man, like you said, being able to provide, being able to lead, and a woman that's going to respect that, and, it's going to build a strong relationship. That's why I think, at least.
All right. Who do you think should manage the finances in a relationship?
In my personal scenario, I think men are better with numbers and stuff like that. I might be wrong. Everyone's, case. And there's exceptions to the rules, obviously, but I think I'm better with numbers. I'm an engineer, so I want to handle the money. But I was watching this guy named Dave Ramsey. He's a financial guru, and this lady was talking to him. She was like, "Oh, like when I get married, is our money 50-50 or how does that work?" And he was like, "No, it's not. It's not 50-50. He said, it's you, when you're married, two become one. So you guys are the same person basically, and that you guys' money is your money, So his money is your money, her money is your money, So that's how it should work. But I think, in my experience, I think I should manage the money because I think I'm better at calculating out what the mortgage is going to be, what we need, utility wise, food wise, how much we're going to need for the kids, and stuff like that, and how much I want to give you your own personal money too, So because I think we work hard for things that we want in our life, So
when you mentioned Dave Ramsey's kind of scenario.
Mm-hmm.
I almost think that sounds idealistic.
Right, yeah. That is idealistic.
Where most people, I think people say 50-50 because it sounds nice.
Yeah, it sounds nice.
Yeah.
But it's not reality.
But it's not reality. In reality, someone's always going to
make more money.
Yeah, so there's always going to be more of a breadwinner, and that person's always going to be the main contributor, but maybe they make more money, but they don't like handling their finances.
Yeah, and Mira's made this quite open to me that she's like, no, like you're really good at saving and you're really good at managing your money. So she's like, I want you to handle our money. She's like,
I told you this scenario before, but on the whatever podcast, there's this guy. Oh, this guy named Michael Knowles, right? Was talking to this girl. I forget her name. She's like, I forget her name.
She was
like
Farha
right? Or something. Yeah, Middle Eastern or Indian. I can't remember what she was. Her name is Farha, I think. Mm-hmm. But they were talking, right, and they were talking about, all right, I'm the man, and I bring whatever I bring to the table, and she's like, okay, you bring what you like. The man, I want him to bring what he brings, but I'm also gonna bring what I bring.
Right.
And obviously, she does like OnlyFans and stuff like that. So she's like, oh, like I make a lot of money, and I'm gonna have my own house, and he's like, I'm definitely gonna pick where I live, and she has all this stuff planned out. right?
Mhm.
But then when he comes down to it and he asks her, "Are we good?"
Yeah, no, I'm just.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Shrink. Oh yeah, it says we're
We're good.
warning. But yeah. So when it comes down to it, when they were talking about what like marriage and relationships between men and women, he was like, okay, she was saying that she wanted to get married, and he was talking positively about marriage. He's an older gentleman, and she's young. She's like 20, I don't know, 23 or something. He's in his 40s, and he kind of ends up saying, he's like, okay, why do you want to get married? And she couldn't really, she was like, what do you mean why? Like, of course I want to get married. But he was like, okay, why? And he's like, because I want to. And he's like, oh, okay. But like, people want to get married, and they pedestalize it, or they romanticize like the love, and like, oh, I just want to get because it's nice, right? Or I want to get married for this.
I think men and women also have different reasons for getting married too. You
Well,
know?
he was talking about what makes things work, right?
Right.
And he was saying, oh, you want this, but like a lot of times people will say what they want, but their actions will show otherwise. Right. So he was saying, well, he's like, in a marriage, she's like, it's great that you're independent, but he's like, but when you bring yourself to the table and you guys are like, okay, what do you bring? What do I bring? How do we make this work?
Right.
He was talking about, well, you need to be, you kind of want to be dependent on each other, right? I want my wife to be dependent on me for being a father eventually, or for being, the husband that she needs, or to bring financial reasons, or to bring guidance, like be the guy she asks advice to, be the guy who goes and maybe fixes her problems, or the guy who hears her out, and then vice versa. If I want like a wife, or a potential mother for my kids, someone to like give advice to, or
solve problems for.
Yeah, solve problems for. You have your relationship and the dynamics that make it work, and men are gonna want something, and women are gonna want something,
and that's where the sacrifice comes in.
And and you need to sacrifice. And if you're like, oh, I'm independent and I already have all those things,
then why do you want to date?
Why do you want marriage? Because it might. The way she was describing it, it's like it won't even work though.
Yeah, it's her whole mentality. Unless it's like no one can control me, and then it's like, why do you want to be in a relationship?
She just wants somebody that she can control.
Yeah, it's not about control, and that's what I don't think relationships are not even about control. And it's about just having that respect for each other to build something of, and it's like, I think that's what's awesome about relationships is that you can build something that's fucking truly amazing, bro. Like what people want, And it's like, at the end of the day, you don't want to fucking be alone, bro. Like, who wants to be alone? I think people don't do good alone. I mean, like, to a certain degree, you have to have some stoicism, like when you handle certain situations, but you cannot do this alone. I think it's impossible to do it alone.
Like, isn't it something like over 50% of men end up alone?
Yeah. And
that's crazy.
It's a scary world that men live in, and it's, we have a men's awareness day because men commit the most suicides. Men are most likely to end up in prison, and it's like, it's crazy to me that it's like none of that matters to people. I feel like, with we're meant to deal with it on our shoulders,
right?
And we're supposed to carry the weight. And I think it's a tall task to ask, and I don't think women understand the what that truly means, And it's like, when everything's going to shit and everyone's looking at you, you're like, holy shit, like I gotta figure this shit out,
Right.
It's a crazy feeling, and I've been there, I lost my job, and I was, everyone was looking to me like, what the fuck are you gonna do? Like it's fucking, it's scary, bro. Oh, what's up, bro? That's my homie. He plays Xbox with me.
Oh, okay. What's up, guys? It's Revolted.
Yep. Yeah, he messaged me. He's like, "You gonna play Rainbow tonight?" And I was like, "I'm doing a podcast right now." So
nice. What's up,
thanks
man?
for checking me out, brother. This is my buddy Jacob right here.
What's up, man?
But yeah, so it's just like it's hard to be a man in today's day and age, and I don't think people realize that, or women realize that. And I think women like get married, and that why that girl wants to get married is because of social things. It's like it's more of like a checklist for them. It's like, oh,
right. They just want the ring, bro. They want it for the Instagram. Yo, what up?
Yeah, they want to do it for Instagram, or it's more of a social thing. And like when I get married, I want my girl to truly understand, what it means to be married. And it's like, it's a relationship, with not only me but with Jesus too. So it's like it's super important that you you have that firm foundation, and it's like when I got baptized, I was declaring to the world that, hey, I want a relationship with Jesus. So
Right.
that's what marriage is. You're declaring to the world that you want a relationship with me, and vice versa. I want a relationship with you, and this is going until the day we die. And that's it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree. I think this is when it comes to like what are people willing, goes back to that question, what are people willing to sacrifice and give up?
Yeah, because everyone wants different things.
Right. Maybe it's good to be upfront about those things. The only problem is that, well, I've noticed is that when you are upfront, it might almost ruin your chances sometimes with certain people, which is a good thing.
You're not wasting your time, yeah.
Yeah, you're not wasting your time, but if for...
Do you feel like you have to play a game right now?
Yeah, you're more like, all right, you test the water, and then like leave it in there long enough, it's gonna be hot and you're gonna get burned,
Yeah.
So you find a way to play the game, and hopefully it works out in the end,
Mm-hmm.
So for young people that are coming out, I don't know, like your brother Jerry, like he's going into college. He's gonna...
Yeah, no, he needs to focus on what being a man is, and he's at that age. He's getting out of high school, going to college. He needs to figure out, what his purpose in this life is, and like you said, what you were telling your friend, get a good job, know what you need to bring value to the work, bring value to society, bring value to a woman, and you got to be a leader, and know how to be a strong leader in this world.
It is a how y'all read the Irrational? Have y'all read The Rational Male? No. I haven't, but I've read another book that I gave to this fool, but
yeah,
he never read it.
I did read it.
You read like half of it.
What's it called, Jacob?
The Alpha. I think it's called The Alpha, which is kind of a lousy term, but it's based on Rollo Tomasi's kind of ideology, like red pill talk, which we kind of agree to like red pill a little bit, but we're more like Christ pill, have where we lean red to red pill kind of opens you into the matrix, and then you kind of find your way out of the matrix, and I think that's like where Christianity comes in and following Jesus. Yeah. But yeah, what do you think?
Oh yeah, no, we're definitely Christ pill, and I think the red pill has good arguments, but it's not the end all be all. There's a lot of stuff I don't agree with by them too, but there's a lot of stuff that I.
What don't you agree with?
I don't think it's all right to be sleeping with a bunch of people.
Yeah.
That's just fucking very hedonistic, So
just traditionalism. That's true. I mean, traditionalism in a sense, but there are a lot of, I think, new things that red pill brings up. That isn't necessarily traditional.
Yeah, like
multiple wives.
Multiple wives. That's only in the Arab faith. That wasn't how America ran back in the days. America used to run with single family household, man working, support family. Right. And then that's traditional in America, and that's what I believe in. Right. And that's what
It's slowly harder to get there now, though. I wonder. Do you think it's easier to get a traditional man and woman relationship, or like a modern day relationship?
I think it's people are waking up to...
I feel like it's hard for both.
yeah, it's hard for both right now because people are waking up, but there's some people that are still living in the modern day and age. But that's where you have to be grounded. Like me being idealistic, I want a traditional, traditional relationship.
Okay.
But there was a lot of sacrifice that I had to go with because we live in the modern day and age,
It's tough for both, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm not going to say I'm perfect, and I, 100%, man. It's hard to say that I'm perfect and I follow the Bible 100% because I don't, I'm human, bro. I make mistakes. So that's why I'm, to a degree, I do follow the modern way because, you meet your girl. I met my girl through Instagram, shit like that too, so.
Well, it all comes back like we live in the secular world. Like we live in the world. So things are gonna not necessarily be right by the book.
Right.
Like there was a part of me like when I first started dating, I was like, oh, I'm kind of willing to kind of sacrifice some things,
Some core values.
and I'm like, okay, like my girl doesn't necessarily have to be a Christian, or my girl doesn't necessarily
It's not gonna
have
work,
to
though.
be this or that, and it's like, and then you jump in and you're like, man, this sucks because we don't agree on shit, and it's like,
and it just leads to fighting, and then it's like,
yeah,
oh, and I believe in people like, I don't believe in abortion, I believe pro-life,
right,
and oh no, my body, my choice. It's like,
yeah, it's like,
so yeah, it just leads to arguments like that. So
oh, I have a question for you. This goes back to the finances question. All right, I was gonna ask you this in the car, but you were saying that like one person's gonna control the finances, right, in a relationship.
in my relationship, yes.
Yeah. I guess in most relationships, usually one controls it, unless you have split finances, which is a whole nother dynamic.
Yeah.
But I was gonna ask for in your case, what if Mira won $1 million from the lottery, bro? Is that your money or is that her money?
If we're married, it's our money.
If you're married, that's our money.
Yes.
Do you think most girls would think that?
No.
Yeah.
But I think my girl would think that 100% because
Okay.
we're
No.
together and we're building towards that.
All right, but like,
And vice versa for me. If I was to win $1 million, that's our money too. So.
right. But like, say like in the majority of relationships out there, the girl wins the money.
Mm-hmm.
Is she staying with him?
No, probably not.
Unless he's already a millionaire.
Mm-hmm. Like she answered.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, I figured that was going to be the answer, but I'm just saying I don't think that's necessarily the case for a lot of people out there.
Yeah. Most people are like you said.
Even guys.
Yeah, most.
That's probably not even most guys.
Well, yeah, and
you went in and it's like, I want it.
Yeah, no, but it comes down to finding the right person who has good morals and good standings,
Right.
And it's like, I don't see it where I would struggle is like, who would I want to tell that I won $1 million or won the lottery? Would I tell everyone? Probably not. But would I tell people I generally have a good relationship with? Yes.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't be telling my aunt who struggles with money.
No.
I want a shitload of money. Like,
yeah.
that. So.
Plus, I mean, you rub it in people's faces or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or they're gonna look out for a handout, like, oh, you have all this money now, blah 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 blah. So.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a tough one, but I definitely would like to. What's up? Why are we keeping that to ourselves, babe?
Nah, we're gonna help our families our immediate families to a degree. Maybe some friends, depending on how much money it is.
Yeah.
I would love to retire, Jacob. We could do this all day. If I won the lottery, hey Jacob, what are we doing today, bro? What are we talking about?
That'd be lit. That'd be cool.
Hey Jacob, come do a podcast today. Oh, bro, I can't. I'm working. All right, bro, I just retired.
We're gonna be on the radar, and then behind us is gonna be Hawaii, bro. Like this is gonna be the view. That'd be sick.
No longer Vista, California.
It was looking like Hawaii today, though. What was I gonna say? I kind of wanted to talk to you about. I wanted to get back into crypto a little bit because I've been super in. What'd she say now?
Mary said knock it off. She keeps saying that she would retire you. That's why.
Oh, you're gonna retire me?
Mm-hmm. If we won the
He'll probably retire you first, Mira. Come on, me second. Actually,
she's gonna work.
Actually,
someone's got to do it. I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, I'm down for both of us. I mean, I'm cool. I just know it's gonna be me first, but
yeah, I gotta win the lottery first.
That's the American dream, there. You know.
Right.
So
back to crypto.
Oh yeah, I was back to crypto. So, crypto, I think we're starting to be in this. I think we're in an early bull run. I mean, that's kind of what I'm getting from a lot of our, my research and kind of what I'm seeing, kind of how my portfolio is doing.
Said bye because you're doing crypto talk now.
Oh, is it that, or is it because he's gonna retire me first?
Oh, it's because I'll retire you first. Yeah.
Reporting this podcast.
Reported for being an excellent podcast.
You're gonna report it for being excellent.
Hey, this podcast was too good.
Shout out coconut water.
I fucking love me some coconut water. This is called Vita Coco, good coconut water brand. Now they make alcohol.
Is this a seltzer or what is this?
Oh, it's just spiked, bro.
Cocktail.
Spiked with Captain Morgan.
Cheers, bro. Right, I'm gonna finish mine.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Thank you. Yeah. So I'm not a financial advisor, but
Don't follow his advice. No, I'm just kidding. Hey,
But get into crypto.
Just save my ass, and you don't sue me later. I'm not a financial advisor. Cheers, brother.
Your homie said, what was your life before and after Christ? You want to talk about? Let me answer the crypto, or we'll do crypto after. Christ first.
All right, so I was blessed enough to know Christ my whole life. So it's kind of hard to say before and after, but I could give you a portion of my life where I wasn't following as closely as I should have been. You know,
Right, man.
before I was really struggling with me controlling my world, trying to be in control of everything, which caused me a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, a lot of just things, you know, like I try to control my relationships, my future, and, you know, that kind of jumps back to what I was saying. I was very unhappy with a lot of things in my life. You know, I wasn't where I wanted to be relationally, financially, physically, career-wise. Physically, you know, I wasn't doing anything, you know, and it was just like really just taking me out. And after Christ and after finding a great relationship with Jesus that I have now, I feel just that peace, man. I can't explain it to you, but that peace is just crazy, bro. Like all my fears went away. I know God's in control of my life. I know everything happens for a reason. That he meant for me to go through that. Yeah, it's just an amazing feeling. I can't explain it to you. It just the only thing is you can figure it out for yourself. And I think God's impacted my life in the right way. And like I don't see no downside for God, you know. And it's like he made us to have great lives. He made us to want the best for our lives. He wanted us to have great lives and just wanted us to see us win, you know. So, you know, we just got to spread the good news, and I would spread the good news everywhere, man. So. Yeah, that's a bit of my testimony, and I could dig more deep into it. But what about you, Jacob?
Yeah, I'm pretty similar. Grew up with God in my life. Grew up, my parents were Christian. I grew up Christian. We read the Bible and say, "Do you believe the only way to know God is through Christianity?"
Yes.
I would say,
Jesus says, and hold on, I just read this Bible verse the other day.
No, I'll keep going. Oh yeah, you read it first.
Jesus says in the Bible that He is the way, He's the truth, and He is the light, and He's the only way to get to the Father. And that is Matthew.
I thought it was John.
Or John, yeah, John.
John 4 something.
Yeah, John 4 something.
I forget. Yeah.
Go ahead, continue.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a little bit. I'm similar. I grew up Christian. My parents. I would never say I fell out too much with what up, boys. Miss y'all. What's up, Kevin? Miss you too, bro.
What's up, Kevin? We miss you, dog.
Yeah, I would say I never fell out too much from Christ. I mean, I've always. I mean, I'm a sinner, just like us all, and I do things that I regret, and when you're younger and you're kind of when I was coming out of high school and going into college, probably like my first 2 years was my first time really away from home. So it was definitely adjusting to a worldly lifestyle, going to college, being around, people that aren't faithful or have faith in their life, being around a lot of partying. I would say I never lost it though. I was definitely, I didn't go out actually too much until probably my sophomore year, and it was mostly because I just would hang out and drink with friends, hang out. But Jesus was always there for me, and He never left. And I definitely have always believed in. And when I kind of got through that period where I felt further away from Him, when I came back, I felt stronger than I had ever been before. And it's just always stayed with me since then, and I've never felt like God has been separate from me. And, I feel Him in my life. I feel Him in my heart. I feel Him through my family and my friends. And He really has a grip on me and who I am. And when I think about my choices, I try to include... I try to include Jesus in them. He's always there with me, and He's gonna try to do his best to guide me to make the right decisions for me in my life. And obviously, like, I make mistakes like everybody else, and I don't always keep my word as best as I can. But that's you repent, you ask for forgiveness, and you just try to get closer to God throughout the process, right? You study the Bible, you read the Bible, read the Gospels, believe in the Word, believe that He's coming, believe that He makes an impact in all of our lives and our families, and try to stick to that as much as possible. And yeah, that's kind of where it lies, and hopefully it's only up from here.
So it says in John chapter 14, 6-7, Jesus answers, "I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. If you really know me, you will know my Father as well. From now on, you do know him and have seen him." Powerful message right there.
Powerful.
So
John what? John 4 what?
John 14,
14.
6-7.
14.
Yeah.
6-7.
So Jesus is the only way through God, man. And I think accepting Jesus as your Lord and Savior, and understanding that He died for your sins, and because everything we do, we sin daily. I sin daily, and I can't thank Jesus enough for how grateful He's been to me, or how good He's been to me. So
by reading and praying.
Kevin says the way to know God is experience Him by reading the Word, praying to Him. Surround yourself with genuine believers, and you can experience Him through those believers. Right. And so I know Raul's situation. He told me that he's going to a church, and they were kind of like, and it was a really bad experience. Like they were like not the greatest, I guess. Greatest, what's the word I'm looking for? Believers. They were kind of teaching him different ways from like that strayed from the Bible. They're like the mother. Me and you've heard this before, but the God the mother. Yeah. So he was going to that church, and that's what he was kind of telling me. And I was like, that doesn't say that anywhere in the Bible. And it's like
I do think okay, so I agree with Kevin in a way that the best way to know, or I don't even know. Actually, I think the best way to know is through the source. Mm-hmm. I always say, hey, the source is the Bible. The Bible is the book of knowledge. Mm-hmm. But the way to experience the Bible is to live life, right? And then see that the Bible is the truth by living your life. And the knowledge that you learn from the Bible will come to fruition with the experience that you live.
Right, because Jesus has also been through everything we've been through, and He's reacted in the right way. He's the only person, only religious figure that did not do anything wrong.
Right. He was perfect.
He was perfect, and all his moral codes He followed through, and he's the,
he's the pinnacle.
He's the pinnacle, and I kind of lost my train of thought on this, but
if we go, I was gonna go back to this in a sense that I do think people. So Rural said, "Do you believe the only way to know God is through Christianity?" I think that's the only way to know Him, but there are ways to discover Him in different ways, right? People find God through their life experiences. They might find Him through a different. You might even find Him through a different religion, right? You might find Him through. You said you went to that church and you were like, "Wow, like I didn't really resonate with this, but I believe in something." And then you go and you're seeking truth, right?
Yeah.
And then you go discover Him somewhere else, and you're like, "Wow, this is the real truth, not what I was learning before."
Yeah, and I think Christianity as a religion is or I don't think religion is the right thing to follow. I think
religion is like a man-made thing.
Yeah, religion is a man-made thing, and I think just following Christianity itself is the right thing to do. Or Christ himself, not Christianity. Christ himself is the right thing to do, because I'm a Christian.
Men create fault.
We fault. We still mess up. We still make mistakes. So, and the thing is, like, when you're a Christian, it is hard because people expect, like, oh, you're supposed to be, you think you're perfect and you think you're better than everyone. And no, I came to Christ because I needed Him, bro. Like, because I am so flawed, I am so fucked up.
Yeah.
I've made mistakes, that I can't come back to. So. Yeah,
I mean, people even say it. There's a verse in Romans that basically says God is reflected in all things, so that we without excuse, so that we without excuse, so we have no excuses. I guess that makes sense too, because like you said, he should be a reflection of it. He is a reflection of everything that he's created.
No, and God created us to be a reflection of Him. So
Right.
that's why we are we are on the top of the food chain.
I mean,
in a sense,
even seeing evil, like if you see people do evil things, that even tells you that means there's a God out there, because if there's evil, there's good. So, I mean, you're doing that, the battle of between light and dark. You're gonna look it up.
Yep.
For since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, His eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly seen, being understood from what has been made, so that people are without excuse. Yeah, that's an excellent quote.
Yeah. So they have been seen. It's like it's.
I just like knowing where people are in the sense of religion. I am tolerant of all points of view, though.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, I'm not going to be disrespectful to other people's religions. I don't think that's the right way to. I don't think Jesus would do that either. And I think Jesus.
You don't think you would do that?
Would be
So
disrespectful?
you think? No. I'm tolerant. So like if you were Jesus Christ and you saw somebody doing something and he saw somebody doing something that was wrong, do you think he would correct them?
Yeah, he would definitely correct them.
Yeah. So he's not.
He's not tolerant, but what I'm trying to get at is I'm not disrespectful. I go about it in a loving manner. And I just I can only help people that want to, or give the words to people who want to hear it. That's
right.
I forget what verse it is, but basically, if your ears are open, you will hear it. If your eyes are open, you will see it. So,
Right. I do think God gets frustrated though. Like I think there's plenty of stories in the Bible that show God's frustration with humans and the people, and how
He flooded the earth.
yeah. But I mean, not even just that, just other stories in general where,
because we were worshiping false idols, and I think we do that in this day. I mean, we've had a discussion on another podcast where we were talking about raves. Remember that?
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh man, like it was weird, bro.
Feels
like,
weird, bro.
I'm sitting here fucking dancing, worshiping the person.
Bro, I told my friend Jacob this, bro. Because he told me he grew up Catholic, right? Mm-hmm. So he grew up Catholic, went to Catholic school, and then his like senior year went to like Christian school. But he even said that he's like, bro, he's like low key, he's like Catholic school and like Christian school. He's like those kids are wild too. Mm-hmm. Like you might not think that they're wild, but like they're wild.
Well, yeah, and the thing is like a lot of times like I was watching. Do you remember that girl that was like OnlyFans model on whatever, and she was like being like all cringe and like staring.
Yeah.
Converted to Christianity.
She converted, right?
Yeah,
because of what's that guy's name? The Crucible guy.
Yeah,
I forget his name.
Yeah. So, anyways,
Andrew Wilson converted her.
So she converted to Christianity, and she was living her life in haram. Just
OnlyFans, porn, whatever.
Yeah, and all that stuff, and just not having a lot of sex with a lot of different people.
Right.
And
and
she
money
recently
on
converted, and God bless. I'm happy God, and Jesus was able to make a switch in her life.
Mm-hmm.
And what were we talking about before that? I low-key lost my train of thought.
No, I mean, like you can do that. You can have faults, but still, like know the truth and like come back from it. And
so
forgiveness.
So like back to like what you're saying about people being Christian kids being partiers. That was kind of that was kind of her testimony where she was like, I went to Christian school my whole life, and my parents were strict Christians, and were shoving this down my throat, and I felt like I was in a cage, and this what made me outlash in the cage. And I was like when I was listening to that, I was like, damn, like there's probably a lot. That's why you think when you go to this Catholic and Christian schools, a lot of people feel the same way.
Well, it even goes back to how you were talking about people make mistakes all the time, and then when especially when they're I guess forming religion, right? Man make mistakes, and that's why we need to follow Jesus and the Gospels. But I mean, it'd be kind of crazy for a whole institution to kind of mess up,
right.
And now you're teaching a bunch of young kids that are moldable, right? And you might not necessarily get all the points that you wanted to across that you probably should have as that institution. You needed to do a better job of it. But anyway, that was just my friend's experience. But I had told him that story that I had told you about, the like going to Coachella, going to EDC, and like being like, wow, like what am I doing here, kind of thing.
Right.
Like I don't agree like with what's like the big picture of what's going on. Like I enjoyed my time being with my friends, enjoying music, but then I don't agree with the like giant stages of all these like big like mechanical things, and like all this like weird art everywhere.
Very demonic.
Yeah, it's very like it doesn't appear, I think, demonic to most people, because it's just like, oh, it's just art, or oh, it's just this, and then you kind of like me.
You're looking at it at face value.
Yeah, and I get introspective and be like, okay, like if I did this for 10 years straight, would it change me? Like, what would I be? It's almost like what do they say? Our senses are the gateway to of knowledge and information, right? So our eyes, our ears, our nose, our mouth, our touch, right? And if with all these things that we have, our senses, they're absorbing like information all the time, and
to see that shit 10 years in a row.
molding us. So
Yes.
if I'm staring and like going to all of these events and listening to all this music, and I keep doing it for a long period of time, I'm gonna believe that that's good and that's the truth, and I'm gonna have good intentions.
Well, that's
but then
why
it goes back to like, oh, like what's right and wrong.
And it kind of ties into like what you're saying, like with like why rap music is bad to listen to all the time, too, is because if you hear about like having, like fucking hella bitches and killing people and shit like that, like what is it gonna make you do or make you think it's okay to do? Like killing people is never okay to do, So
Right.
who are we to take someone's life away? We're not God, So why would we do that? So just whatever you surround yourself with is what you become. Whatever knowledge you get. And so I agree with you in that aspect, Jacob. So
There's, yeah. I mean, it's very controversial. I mean, we could get into even if I don't even know if we should bring this up, but like I was gonna bring up gun policy, but I don't think we should do it maybe on a different podcast.
Yeah, next podcast.
Next podcast. Oh, that's a good one. If you want to talk about it,
because I'm looking at trying to get a gun pretty soon.
Dude, me too.
Yeah, we could talk about that next podcast.
We need hold on, let me go to my notes. What else do we want to talk about? Oh, did you want to talk about your friends buying a house, or did you want to save that later?
We can save that later too.
Okay. What time is it right now? How long have we been on?
We've been on for an hour and 30.
Hour and 30.
Yeah.
So close. Should we start wrapping it?
Yeah, we'll wrap.
Oh, let me bring in crypto real quick.
Okay.
I'm not a financial advisor.
All right.
Okay.
I'll let you talk about it while I go to the bathroom. Right?
Okay. All right. For the 3 of you that are on, for the 2 of you, everybody, I'm not a financial advisor, but let me just say I've always been I'm trying to dive into different realms of ways to make money, and I think it's just overall what AW I'm a blow. You're gonna blow up on crypto. Let's go. Me too. We all are. All right. I guess if we're all trying to make money, which I pretty much most people are, it's good to get into different areas and invest your money in different ways. Job first. Get some kind of money. Once you're comfortable with making a certain amount of money and putting a certain money into an investment account, go ahead and do that. I think crypto is potential to make me money. It's made me money in the past, and I want it to make me money in this next bull run. We were in a bear market for like the last 2 years, and now it's starting to come back. And I think it's really important to kind of be wise about how you put it. And I talked about like the 4 areas of crypto earlier. Now we can talk about the 3 areas of different types of crypto investing. And I really think that you have your top stable coins, which are like Bitcoin, Ethereum. You can even say maybe like Cardano, Solana, all the coins that have kind of necessarily been always rising. And they drop, obviously, but for the most part, those are the most, they have the most market cap. So if they have a high market cap, it's something that you can always throw your money into, and you're pretty much going to get a slow return back over the course of time. And then this is where I think you have potential to, so Bitcoin, for all the long-term holders, I guess, are making really big gains right now. But it's really important to know that there are like your medium coins, and then there are high risk coins. So you have medium coin, all your altcoins, right? So
Yeah, so Jacob was invested into SHIB. And
SHIB.
let's use your example. How
I would
much did
I
you
would
make off of that?
SHIB, I got up to about 30K at one point.
Yes, and
Off
but
of
that's a high risk coin.
off of an initial probably like $2,000 investment, and this was about 2-3 years ago.
Yes, and so that's a high
Or
risk,
3 years ago,
high risk,
3
high
years ago.
reward. You know, so if the coin tanks, then it's like oh,
Yeah.
man, but it's a high risk, high reward game.
Back then, super high risk, especially since there wasn't a big market cap for it back then. Now it's
this was even before Bitcoin started blowing up too.
yeah. Now we're talking SHIB's probably 10 on the like ranked probably 10 market cap. It's probably worth a couple billion right now, or a couple billion in circulation. So, and there's probably gonna be there's different way coins are generated and burned or like. So I mean, we could get in there's a whole nother discussion on that, but
because you have to what's the word, crypto mining?
you have to mine and then you have to burn. But there are different ways that different coins have been mined and burned, and some like Bitcoin. Apparently, there's all that there's ever gonna be in circulation right now, so that's why it's so expensive, and that's why it's hard to kind of get into it. But you can always invest and then get like portions of coins, which you can kind of get into. But I think it's good to invest in Bitcoin, for long-term stability. It's a stable coin.
Yeah, his friend invested into Bitcoin when it was at what 30K
or close to 30K,
Yeah,
and now it's 70K.
70K. So he got a 40K investment right there.
Right. So it's just important to be mindful of all these things. And as far as the bull run that's currently happening and I think going to happen for at least the next year, you just have to be mindful of the high risk coins, which are like the meme coins like SHIB. I would say like Pepe, Doge. There's a lot of others, but then you have your off the blockchain like Ethereum, and then you have like use case stuff.
Ethereum is like Jacob was talking to me about this the other day. He's saying 50, 25, 25. You want to kind of go into that, Jacob?
Yeah. So 50%. If you're gonna make an investment, say I have $100, right? You want to maybe throw 50% of that into a stable coin like Bitcoin, right, or Ethereum.
You're being conservative in that aspect, or because it's stable, or like it's a solid investment where it's not going to go up and down too much.
Right. It's going to trend.
Yeah,
it's going to trend slowly.
Yeah.
And then 25% goes into the medium risk, and 25%
Like
goes to the high risk.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say the medium risk are all those on the blockchain that have use case scenarios that could potentially be good. Depending on those like 4 areas that I talked about earlier.
AW is Alex. What's
up,
that's
Alex. Okay.
I'm a blow.
I know.
Hey, we got a duel soon, brother.
What blow on what?
Smoke some weed.
Oh, this guy. Alex, you still smoke weed, bro? Come on, man. Level up. I'm just kidding, bro. Shout out to you. Thanks for watching the podcast.
Thanks for tuning in, brother. But yeah, we got to set up a duel soon, my friend.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, so you have your medium coins, right? Medium risk coins, which I think are the like 4 use case scenarios. So you got like the gaming coins, you have AI, and then you have like the decentralized, and then you have blockchain technology. So, and then on the bottom end you have like all the meme coins, like SHIB, like Pepe. I would even throw like Shiba into like that medium range now.
Yeah, because that's where it's trending right now.
You're right, and there's a huge market cap for it now, so a lot of people are investing into it, and the potential for it is there because it's so cheap to buy compared to some others, right? That you have their coin is love y'all, haha. Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
What are you guys gonna dueling? Dragon Ball Z?
No, Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'll bring my cards down. Yeah, definitely tomorrow. I'll hit you up about it.
Nice. Yeah, man. So, like I said, I'm not a financial advisor, but I definitely am trying to
do your own research. That's the most important thing. It's before you make any decision, and you gotta do your own research, man, and just make sure that's something that you can afford and that's a risk you're willing to take.
Right.
That's what it comes down to.
Right. Because I mean, I'm in that scenario where I feel like I'm looking at crypto every day and looking at trends and trying to figure out what I think would potentially blow up. But it's kind of hard because you have to crypto. it's so hard to figure out those use cases and how it's going to be used in the future. I threw you the shotgun, man. And yeah, so I think the potential's there. Yeah, I'm invested. I got Doge. I got Shiba. I got some Bitcoin. I got some Ethereum, and I got some Solana. So and it's done pretty well for me so far. I mean, I've also lost money, but there are
You
some
can also
gains.
invest into stocks too. That's another thing too. So
Stocks.
just you want to start being invested in something and
Diversity.
You get some diversity, and diversity is going to help you grow and help you retire and make some money. And but the biggest, I think, right now where me and Jacob are in our lives right now is kind of looking at that big investment of a house. So
Right.
that's kind of another important investment that you got to make as well too.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many investments out there that you can use to. I mean, I guess your biggest one is yourself. Right?
Yeah, and that's what we always talk about, investing in yourself. So, Jacob's investing himself by trying to get his master's degree. We also are invested into this podcast because we want to try to make something out of it, pass a good message on, for people to learn from our mix.
Share our knowledge,
and enjoy the content and make laugh, have fun. And we do this for for fun. So. Just being invested.
Bro to bro moments.
Bro to bro moments. Yeah, exactly. So,
cheers, bro.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
But yeah, just getting invested into yourself and doing what's gonna make you what you think is gonna make you money, and there's a lot of things that you can make money. Like we were saying earlier, you can make money anywhere. So, just be smart and work hard and have the mentality that you're gonna be a go getter. Have a killer mentality like Kobe did. So.
Mamba mentality, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Job not finished.
Job's not finished. But all right, we're gonna end the stream here, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Once again, I'm Jason.
Jacob.
And we appreciate you guys. If you guys have any feedback, please leave a comment on the video, like, subscribe. Thank you for everything.
Give us ideas.
Give us ideas
in the comments below.
What other topics you guys like us to cover? We can talk about anything. Me and Jacob can talk about
also give us guests.
Yep, and we would love to have more guests.
We can bring up 3 guests. We can bring on potentially 3 guests.
Two guests.
Or 2 guests. Two
Yeah,
guests.
two guests. Yeah.
Potentially more in the future.
Okay.